There is love, love, never failing love. There is love, there is love, 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 never failing love in the spoken word of God.
Wonderful. So, I don't know if you read the article in the newsletter, but I was inspired to go to the fundamentals and return to the writings of Charles Fillmore in the 12 Powers. He wrote this book, The 12 Powers, and in it, I like to think of it like, what would you do if you had a box with 12 crayons in it, and then you drew the universe, you drew God with those 12 crayons? You could complete the work with just those 12 crayons. Well, Charles took 12 powers, 12 faculties to describe God and God within us. And they're built so that we can use these powers and identify them. Of course, you can't go take the powers out of yourself, but it's good to examine how we can use these wonderful faculties. And I think of them as like the power tools in our shed. They give us exactly what we need to do anything in our lives. And so through the year, we're going to have a talk on the power of the month. And of course, this month is faith. And I love that. Also, I have for you, wonderfully created by Kathy McNamara, a card. I've already got it on my refrigerator. On the front, it has the 12 powers, so you'll know just what clothes to shop for. Blue this month. We'll see how many go out and buy a bunch of pink. Anyway, so often I've asked by people, what's the color of the month? So these are in the rack mount in the foyer. So if you forget and need another copy, it's there. And on the back, we've got our vision, our mission, and our core values. So thank you, Kathy, and thank you for taking one of those with you. So for faith, from Hebrews, this scripture, Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Now, it's important to recognize that Charles Fillmore did not invent faith. We're inventing it every day and every way in our own lives. But faith is that energy where we know what is coming before we can see it. It may not turn out the way we know it, but it's our faith, our trust, our hope that fuels the energy to bring it forward. It is faith that reveals what it is we're living and where we're headed. Now, Charles Fillmore wrote, co-founder of Unity, wrote, "The power to see in spirit is peculiar to faith. In the outer expression, this power is sight. Interiorly, it is that which perceives the reality of the substance of spirit." It's our faith that allows us to connect with that Christ consciousness, that essence, the divine within us. If we don't believe that we're one with God, if we don't believe, that doesn't mean it isn't true. For you, it may not be true. but your awareness of it isn't going to be tangible. Now, sometimes that perceiving the substance, the reality, the presence of God is magnificent. Aha! We get that awakening, we get that inspiration, we get that clear guidance. Sometimes it's quiet. And it's like calm water. Sometimes it's a breeze. But faith, this is why it's such an important power. That it is the very ingredient that we use to turn within and to believe in the unseen presence. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never been able to grab God like I can grab this book. But there's a lot you can't grab. You can't grab love either. You can't grab air either. There's much in our life that is unseen, and we use our faith to tap in and connect with it. The power of faith. Reverend Linda Martell Whitsitt, she's going to be our guest speaker next week, and she wrote a wonderful book called Divine Audacity about these 12 powers. There's actually many ministers and teachers who've written books about the 12 powers, and we're going to be using them wisdom as we go through the year. She writes here, faith is the power to make the possible real. Our very sense of reality depends on faith. It's the power that realizes, that is, makes real images held in mind. We all live by faith. Now, we know that our third unity principle is what we think, what we believe creates our experience. So it is that faith that makes real those thoughts held in mind. Now, the reality is absolutely nothing is created without first having an image of it, a thought of it, a belief in it. Now, sometimes they can, quote, flow quite quickly, like writing a song that's just there, writing it. Others, it takes a little time. You go back and you rewrite and you see it. Or you're painting, or you're cooking, or you're gardening, or you're singing. We need to know that that power of faith is ours to use. And we can turn our faith towards anything we desire. And that's the power of faith. Reverend Ernest Wilson wrote wonderful books, and a great unity minister said, the faith of the tiny seed is not tiny faith, but a very large, productive one. It is faith to fulfill its own destiny. It only takes a little bit of faith. And that little bit of faith is instilled within us. Now, I like that he uses this image of a seed, because what does an acorn seed grow? An oak tree. Now, can the acorn grow a pomegranate tree? No. Because what's within the seed of the acorn is the entire oak tree. Now, whether it's going to grow, or it's the right sunlight, right water, right conditions, or the deer going to eat it when it's young? What happens if you plant a avocado seed? An avocado tree. We have the seed of God in us. So what do we become? We become more and more what we are created to be. The very essence of awakened love. Bringing service to everyone. Balance to everyone. And reconciling all the hurts, the shames, the guilts, the doubts that hinder us from being able to see the vast love that is already ours. The wonderful thing about these powers is you have all the faith you're ever going to get. You can't go to Walmart and buy some more. You have it, or it's innate. It's already there. And we can turn our faith towards those things that we desire. We can turn those things towards things that we fear. Because we use the same power of faith when we put it towards fear. Because we have faith in our fear. Oh no! Anyone ever put their faith in their fear? Those that didn't raise your hand, you're just lying. Because it's a fact of being human. Now, some of our fears are quite founded. You get up to the Grand Canyon and someone says, don't go past this line, it's not safe, and you go past that line. You should be afraid of falling over the edge. That's good fear. Common sense. But I can fly. No, you can't. In your dreams. And they have those suits, with the web, and then you can. But anyway. We have faith, and the faith connects us with the divine and connects us with knowing where and what we're going. It allows us to see it before we get there. Who's had a seed of faith recently that they planted that seed in their thought and their faith, and it amazingly fulfilled in its destiny? Anyone? A hand? Yeah, there, Tom.
Well, on December the 30th, I planted a seed to go to teach a watercolor sketching workshop in Venice and get on a boat and travel from Venice all the way down the Croatian coast and ended up in Rome. I planted the seed, and each day I'm taking steps in that direction. But it hasn't quickly manifested yet. So I'm stepping out in faith. And I use the term stepping out in dare to dream and actively taking steps here and there and things.
Beautiful. That's the process, because you don't plant the seed. You plant the acorn tree, you don't go, whoa, big old oak tree like that. You plant the seed, you nurture the seed, you do what you can do, you give it to God, you give it to the universe, and you say, okay, I'm ready to receive what this is going to be. And it's true that it could end up exactly how you planned, or it might look very different because the universe brings other things to align with it. So you never know. Anyone else?
This is going to sound kind of crazy, but for me it was very real. We had our leadership meeting Monday and we discussed things we could do. And of course I do the newsletter and the bulletin. And it was brought up, we need to have a table of contents. And the obstinate me immediately said, no, it's not happening. I'm not doing that. I've already done enough. And then I got home and planted that little seed that said, Oh, yes, I can. So the procedure guide and the new monthly newsletter for February will have a table of contents with hyperlinks. And I didn't even say a single swear word when I did it, but I planted that seed of faith saying, oh, yes, you can. Stop being so obstinate.
Thank you for naming that, because we can be obstinate. We can get in our own way.
One of our kids is disabled, and she was in really bad need of a car. She's been pasting this car together forever, and so Pete and I just both said, okay, well, we're just gonna pray that a car shows up, and I'll be darned, a car showed up in our price range. We're gonna pick it up sometime in the next day or two, and she's got a new car. And we were just like, what do we do? Where do we go? Where do we go? We didn't have to go anywhere. We just had to keep holding that vision and believing that it would happen. And it did.
We have to go to God. We have to go to center. We have to go to know that there is a power beyond our imagination. The creativity that created the entire universe, that made the planets and made kumquats and goldfish. It's all in the presence of that wonderful creative energy, which I see is love. Unconditional love that always says yes to whatever we ask for. Oh, I want some poor me. Sure. I want more joy. Good. I want some more energy. What do you want? It's good to discern what it is you want. Is it new employment? Is it just some peace and quiet? Is it greater health or wholeness? Is it someone to really be able to play with and do something fun with? It's all part of our power of faith. And I conclude this talk by returning back to Charles Fillmore. He says, it is when faith is exercised deep in spiritual consciousness that it finds its right place. And under divine law, without variation or disappointment, it brings results that are seemingly miraculous. Seemingly miraculous because this is just the way the universe works. It's divine law. We're co-creating with God all the time. And when we place that faith deep in our spiritual consciousness, right now, in this moment, we're already moving towards whatever it is that we want. A new place to live. I want deeper awareness of God. I want to heal all the unforgiveness in my past. I want to radiate love to everyone that I meet. There's not a lot of stuff I want to have. If you want stuff, ask for stuff. I want peace. I want tranquility. I want love. I want openness. And I want the time to be present. What do you want? The what? Good. Join me. I love that. And as we do this, I ask you to join me this week in this personal exploration to amplify your faith. The first is pause and turn inward. Now, this is prayer and meditation, but it can also be a pause when there's a little chaos happening around you, to take a step back and breathe and turn within. Okay, God, I'm ready for your inspiration. Turning inward doesn't have to be the time you do it in the morning or the time you do it at night. It can be any time of the day we can turn within and pause. One of the things that makes music interesting is a pause. What makes art interesting is the contrast between expression and the blank space. If you put absolutely every spice into everything that you cook, it's all going to taste the same. It's going to be a little of this, a little the harmonizing of things that works. And that's that pause and inward. The second one is acknowledge what is without giving it authority. What is, is. So, check in. What is? I'm energized, I'm tired, I'm in pain, I'm ready, I'm willing. What's true? The car's working, the car's not working. I have 5 loads of laundry to do. What is? Without giving it authority, meaning not basing your life on the things that need to be done or the situation of your life. And if there's anything that you become aware of that is, and you don't like it, you can consciously choose to think otherwise. The third one, you can ask, what is spiritually true right now? It's a good step back, especially if you're in a tense situation or you're having hardship or illness. What's spiritually true? What's spiritually true always is that we're one with God. That even though something's appearing in my experience, everything that we experience in this dimension, this dualistic world, begins in time and ends in time. It'll pass. It's like a cloud in our sky. But what's spiritually true? And then act with trust, act with faith, act with knowing, and let go of the outcome. The power is putting all the energy in for Tom in that beautiful vision of Venice and that cruise. The energy of faith towards that supports it. Any other thing doesn't help at all. Like, I don't have enough money for that. All of those kind of ideas that kind of put arrows in the dare to dream. Let go of the outcome. All we have is now anyway. And within that, we are opening ourselves to the journey of faith, the journey of trust, the journey of allowing, because we have a loving presence that knows the how, that guides the way, that's already here. So does that sound good to you? Will you join with me this week and we'll amplify that faith and turn on the power of faith? Thank you.